Welcome back, folks, to another exciting Bucks Social Afternoon. I'm back with Morty. I am Dan. Morty, how are you?
I'm well. How is everybody today?
We're doing a lot better than we were earlier. We have our match already organized, and we have the individuals getting in. Just updating a few quick things. Morty, what can you tell us about these two teams? We haven't seen BFS too much, especially. We've seen the Mandarins a few times. BFS, haven't seen too much lately.
BFS have recently started playing quite a lot with Cake and Overwatch with that small group, some of the gents as well, due to a side project that Gilder himself was heading up. They play style, to be honest, is very much the same as the Ducks. A lot of long-range Artemis fire and a lot of very clever maneuvering between the two ships. As we can see, they've with a little bit of silliness jump thrown in. As you can see, the MacGyver on the BFF side, flown by Gilder himself, instead of having the traditional gap mortar that you would normally see, he's instead spread out his Artemi around the ship. Artemis is either side on the top decks and one set forward on the front. And instead he's got... Oh, he's just changed. Let me see. He's just changed. No, he's still got the same thing, but he's swapped the places of a mine launcher and an Artemis. So he's got mine launcher in the forward position, so they can try and reverse away from anything that may charge at them. Good counter against Pyramidians. And he's got a mine launcher in the number 5 position, which is the high side port.
We've seen Gilder a couple times before. He loves his mines. He really loves his mines.
Yes, he does. He's got very good at them. Normally his crew tend to bring either Lesmok or Burst. I think the nicest combination between the two at the minute will probably be Burst ammo, which can be loaded into all of his guns for a very, very good effect, but it will reduce the range of his mines. If we go over to Millwall fans,
it's oh my god,
Millwall fans,
same guns,
exactly the same.
It's just different positioning on them, it seems.
Yeah, they seems to have switched the sides around, so basically they can both orbit a target and stick mines on either side without running the risk of running into each other's mines.
This is... I want to see if this works. This is going to go very well. This is going to either go really well against an advanced team like the Ducks and the Mandarins, or it could go really poorly. I'm not sure.
I can only speak from experience. It's worked very well against us. Normally against the slower moving or charging ships like Pyramidians and Galleons, they tend to sit high above you and just surround you in mines. Nowhere to go and no hope to escape.
Righty, with that being said, we have the Admiral Quackbar and the Dancing Feather. We've seen them a ton of times. A ton of times. We talked about them, actually. We talked about them while we were trying to get the game on earlier today. We've seen the Dancing Feather do his magic before. He has the 2 Artemis and the Hades for that just decisive, heavy long-range firepower. And then when he needs to get in close, Frogger is not afraid to swing his gap mortar and just obliterate a target. Same with the Admiral Quackbar, although it looks like they've actually changed their setup quite a bit, where they still have the double Artemis Hades, but their melee side, their brawl side, is a Banshee and a Barking Dog.
That's actually a very good idea, because if you use the Barking Dog on the lower deck, yes, you may have to be slightly higher than your target to make it effective, but it's very effective at disabling. You can force the target to the ground. The Banshee, again, has a low arc of fire, as we were speaking before about the Hades. The Hades just as well. So it's very good at pinning a target down, setting them on fire, and taking out the balloon to make sure that their engineers aren't focused on gun repairs or hull repairs. Instead, they're trying to stop you from grinding against the floor.
It sounds like after a match against these guys, those engineers need antidepressants.
Or a stiff drink. But never both.
Never both. We do not approve of that. That's not good. We'll be getting underway here very shortly, letting them know we're good to go. This match is the first matchup in the Bucks Social Saturday event in preparation for larger tournaments on the way, which hopefully we'll be seeing more of very shortly. As Glider decides to play some music.
This is little...
oh no, it's the MacGyver theme.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad Rob can't hear this and the stream can't hear this. The sound quality is shit, but it's
He's
funny
playing it
as
from a mobile phone.
yeah. That's perfect as to his name. He is the Monk Guyver. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. First map is Canyon Ambush. Can you tell us more about this map, Morty?
Canyon Ambush is it's a mixture of long-range and close-range environments. Each spawn is sat far out in the sides of the map. It makes it easy. It makes it easy for. Sorry, I've just been distracted. That's my fault. I've got the brain of a magpie. It's very easy to get sniping ships to sit right at the back of targets, allowing long-range vessels like Spires to still be effective on this map. But it's got the canyon, as its namesake, set through the middle with red rock mesas blocking a lot of lines of sight. Very often you'll see teams either waiting for the other team to get bored and come through, or finding some of the small access channels to
All right, looks like we are going to have some contact here very shortly. Going over the ships very quickly now. The first ship, the Dancing Feather, piloted by Frogger. We have 3 Artemis, the Hades, and the Whirlwind Gat, and the Mortar. The second ship, the Admiral Quackbar, piloted by Sammy BT. He has the double Artemis, Hades, Barking Dog, and Banshee. The third ship, the Monk Guyver, another junker, piloted by Commander Gilder. He has double mine launcher, triple Artemis, and the fourth one, that is the Millwall Fans, piloted by Von Zinkington, if I'm pronouncing.
Fans.
That has also a triple Artemis, double mine launcher. We already have contact here, so we'll get right into it. Loading up to see exactly what's going on here. The Dancing Feather.
Quackbar and Dancing Feather both firing on the Millwall Fans with long-range Artemis and Hades shots. The Millwall Fans are putting up a small minefield to try and halt their progress and retreat behind the mesa to just get rid of some of this punishing damage.
This isn't a good situation right at the Millwall. The Admiral Quackbar and Dancing Feather don't actually have to move forward right now. Millwall Fans has lost their balloon and 2 of their engines. They're moving down very quickly. They're losing altitude, and there's not a lot they can do about it right now. They're under some punishing firepower.
The Admiral Quackbar did run into a few mines there, but it hasn't slowed them down in any way, shape, or form. It seems to be that Hades' cannon has just ripped that balloon to pieces and put the Millwall Fans in a very bad position. However, the Monk Guyver is stationed off to the far left-hand side of the map, just trying to get a few shots on the Admiral Quackbar before his ally can move back in to help him.
I think this could be a bad situation for the Monk Guyver, but the Admiral Quackbar has lost almost all their guns at this point. Great shots from the Artemis on the Monk Guyver. They need to continue disabling and get some mines in front of the Admiral Quackbar to continue this pressure, though. Monk Guyver now, and going to be in a 2v1 scenario if the Dancing Feather comes in, although it looks like he is not.
Actually, the Dancing Feather is moving around to flank behind the Monk Guyver,
just
hoping that his ally can fix it.
Yep, I see that. Thank you, sir. Millwall Fans, he's still not in a very good position. He's trying to come around to assist the Monk Guyver and try to take the Admiral Quackbar from behind. I'm not sure this is going to be in the nick of time, though. Admiral Quackbar, oh my goodness, that was a mine hit, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a very successful mine hit. The Admiral Quackbar is now taking a severe bit of damage, but the Monk Guyver spotted his ally moving in and just thought, nope, this isn't worth it, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Can he get out of here? He's lost a lot of perma-hull. Hell keeps going down there, and the engineers on the Monk Guyver just barely get it back up, trying to trace exactly the direction they're heading. Still losing altitude very quickly. Oh no, a mine from the Millwall Fans nearly hit the Monk Guyver. Whew!
I can only assume that they're using burst rounds on those mines, otherwise you would have been able to fire straight over the top of the other junker, excuse me.
Admiral Quackbar, Dancing Feather succeed in taking out the Monk Guyver. Millwall Fans once again alone in this scenario. First point goes to the Ducks.
Very, very well played.
Millwall Fans not in a good position right now. That Hades fire, extremely accurate. Of course, you always see accurate Artemis fire. It's the Hades fire that's really tricky in this setup.
Indeed it is. They've again rotated their Hades just out of arc now while they're trying to get around the mesas.
MacGyver is swinging in right above where the Millwall fans was just positioned. He's going to have direct line of sight on the Admiral Quackbar as soon as these clouds break. Oh my goodness, though. MacGyver laying mines right in this pass. Looks like there's a wall of mines trying to see through the clouds here. Yeah, there's at least a couple mines just sitting out in the open here.
They're mining either side of the pass to try and stop them from coming around to try and take them. It's a good idea to lay mines in a cloud cover just so it's not as easy to avoid.
MacGyver is... those mines are being successfully navigated by the Admiral Quackbar. So far, if he just pushes forward, he would be able to have clear shots on both Millwall fans and MacGyver. Looks like they're actually sniping out the balloons of the mines. Very hard tactic. Those mines are tiny, but if you have good gunners, it is possible.
Oh, we have one of the Duck's junkers has moved high to the right-hand side around the mesa and is now firing upon I think the
Yeah,
MacGyver.
it looks like both Admiral Quackbar and the Dancing Feather have turned to focus on the MacGyver, but the MacGyver is now out of arc of the Dancing Feather. He is forced to reposition while the Millwall fans is sitting back unmolested. MacGyver is in a lot of trouble right now. The permahull goes down very quickly. Nasty fire from the Admiral Quackbar and that Banshee Carronade combination.
Oh, dear.
You can hear that Banshee firing from miles away. It screams.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Millwall fans is trying to make a quick escape out of the area now, using cloud cover away from where the Admiral Quackbar is, but it's not doing a lot of good. Line of sight is continuing to be maintained very easily by the Admiral Quackbar.
The Admiral Quackbar seemed to have its carronade focused solely on the balloon of the Millwall fans, just limiting their options to run away as much as possible. However, the Millwall fans is progressing towards his recently spawned ally to hopefully get some fire support.
It's a big target. That balloon is a really big target.
It is indeed.
The MacGyver has swung around, respawned near where the Admiral Quackbar is. Mine's actually landing on top of the Admiral Quackbar's balloon. Not quite enough arc to make them successful. Oh! There's the burst. Admiral Quackbar takes a
blasting off again.
That is tough. Oh, MacGyver taking some shots from the Dancing Feather, trying to lay more mines around the Admiral Quackbar to cut off the directions that it can maneuver.
See, this is the primary idea, is to get
ooh, double burst. Double mine burst on the Admiral Quackbar, but MacGyver has lost their outer hull. They are taking very nasty shots, and the whole Admiral Quackbar is disabled. Millwall fans needs to get back in the game here with good... Oh, there's another nasty mine shot. Ouch. The BFS folks are doing their best right now, but the overwhelming firepower, and accurate firepower, I might add, of the Mallards is just a little bit too much for them to deal with.
It is indeed. Here we go with the balloon ram, and the Admiral Quackbar takes down his opponent.
That's 4-0 in favor of the Mallards so far. MacGyver spawns in directly in front of where the Dancing Feather was. Or rather, directly behind. The Dancing Feather simply turned very quickly. MacGyver getting into the action as quickly as possible. Already having done a little bit of damage to the Dancing Feather in terms of their armament. Just one gun online right now for the Dancing Feather. How hard, while we have a moment here, is that accurate Hades fire that we've seen so far from the Mallards?
Yes, it is. It's very, very good Hades fire, and very well timed Hades fire as well. There's a lot of... While the armor is up, there's a lot of balloon shots with burst rounds or greased rounds just to take down that balloon as quickly as possible. Then it's combined with accurate artifice fire against the hull just to strip it as quickly as they possibly can.
Oh my goodness! Double, triple shots against the Admiral Quackbar with mines. First point for the Black Flight Squadron in this game.
Oh, there you go. That's how they do their mines properly. That's the way I've fallen victim to those mines in the past.
You have one mine bounce, then another. Oh, Millwall fans just hit one of their own mines. Looks like he's lodged in the structure here a little bit. That's not going to help out. They've lost their balloon.
Oh, that's
Not
going to
good.
slow down. I think that might have just been the saving grace for the Dancing Feather.
Yeah, Monkgiver and Millwall fans trying to reassert themselves. They had a good kill there on the Admiral Quackbar, but it just... that momentum was lost when the Millwall fans hit their own mine. Unfortunate.
That's very, very much unfortunate. There's not much you can do about that, really. It's such an enclosed space. We have the two Junkers now heading back towards the canyons, meet up, and hopefully get some safety within the canyon walls. That's a very interesting use of the tar barrel by the Ducks there. Instead of using it to damage their opponent, they've used it as a smokescreen. In other words, a portable cloud to make those Artemis fire just a little less accurate.
Speaking from experience, it's hard to arc something through those tar clouds. You have no frame of reference.
That's very true. In this game, you do get quite a lot of, say, if an engine is damaged, you can see the smoke outline through the clouds, which I think is a minor bug which you're going to use to their advantage, but you can't see that in the black cloud of doom.
No, Millwall fans taking a lot of Hades fire right now, pouring it on the hull there. Oh my goodness, They get ripped to shreds. Oh boy! That
4
was...
or 5 very accurate Hades shots straight in the center of the hole there.
How difficult is that? How difficult is that Hades fire?
It is very difficult to get that right, but once you learn your arcs, the arcs very rarely change. They don't swing very far left and right like the double-barreled mortar does. They stay relatively straight.
Right, updating our stream and the tournament information here. Give me just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We will give a score to the Mallards. There we go. And we will get ready for game 2. That is going to be on Northern Fjords. Is that... no, we're going to need to remake the lobby. We're going to need to remake the lobby. The second map is going to be Northern Fjords, guys. Alrighty, just a moment here, and we will get this underway, folks, in just a moment. Great win by the Mallards over Black Flight Squadron. That was game 1 of this best of 3. After that, we'll see who has won and who moves on next in the Box Social. This is the Box Social for your Saturday, January 25th. Really quick here, what events do Cake have coming up, Morty? You are a proud Cake member. What do we have going on with the Cakes here for the next week or so?
Truth be told, it's very quiet on the front of the Cakes this week. What we have, I think we have a condition that a lot of clans have, where we have quite a lot of crew members very, very eager to play, but crew members that haven't played together very much. There isn't a lot of synergy between crews unless you get some of the old hands like myself, BL Arna, James T. Kirk, and some of the Overwatch guys. At the minute, we were trying to get up to the Box Social, but we didn't get everything set together. But we have decided to refocus on setting up a Rumble tomorrow to see if we can get a bit more practice in. So there isn't that very much serious competitive work for the Cakes at the moment. There's a lot of getting together, getting crews together, know each other, and getting... how can I put it? Getting a bit more professional with each other, so we know how a pilot flies and what the gunner likes to do, and if the engineer prefers to fix hull over balloon, and so on and so forth.
Apparently, I've been saying Mallards. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was just now. It's the Mandarins. Hopefully, I've been saying Mandarins this whole time. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel really stupid.
You've been saying mallards.
Oh dear. Oopsie.
Like the duck. well, ducks and mallards, you can make the corroboration, I suppose.
When I say Mandarin, I think of Chinese food, which I know is wrong. It's really, really wrong.
When people say mallard to me, I assume the train. Don't worry.
There's a mallard train?
It was the fastest train in the world from Edinburgh to London.
Wow.
200-mile-an-hour steam train. Yes.
Did not know that.
Well,
we will learn something new every day.
I had a grandfather that used to refurbish steam engines.
Huh.
Don't ask me why, but he did.
I'm not about to ask questions.
Can I get the password to the match again? I seem to have
it is going to be in Steam Chat here. Not
Yes,
Steam Chat, not Steam
Skype
Chat.
Yes.
Okay.
I've misplaced it somewhere. Yes, there it is. Thank you.
The second mat will be Northern Fjords. Checking the ship loadouts here. Aha! Monkiver has put a Banshee down on the lower deck, along with their Artemis down there.
Yeah, that is a very good idea because last time they didn't have very much low-range stopping power. It's good with Artemis is useful at close range. However, you don't have the sustained volley of fire such as a flak, a carronade, any of the smaller weapons can do. So I think it's a very wise idea, really. Hit them hard with the mine set above it, and then try and ping them off while they fly towards the ground.
Von Zinkington has changed over to the Chelsea Smile. It's a lumberfish. It's a lumberfish.
That is a unique proposition. Lumberfish. Again, they're very well used if used correctly, but the problem that I always find with a lumberjack is it's susceptible, as with many other weapons such as the heavy flak, that if you swing that ship around, which happens very much on the front of a goldfish, you won't be able to get a steady arc. Your rounds will fly 5, 6, 7 feet one way or the other, so it's very difficult to get precise fire with a lumberfish.
Not only is it a lumberfish, it's a lumberfish with a mine launcher and a flare gun.
The flare gun makes sense because you've got to be able to see as far as you can with a lumberjack to make use of the arming time. And I'm assuming the mine is again for close-in support. Let the junker be somewhat of the main target and move in while they have somebody cornered or somebody on their own if they can.
Absolutely. Admiral Quackbar has not changed his setup at all. Still going with the Banshee carronade for close range. The Dancing Feather, same as well. They are holding firm on their setups. The Hades, Double Artemis, long range, Gap Mortar, close range.
Yes, it's very rare that you see the Ducks change their loadouts mid-game. They're always very well thought out to be as versatile as possible.
While we're getting this game going here, tell us more about Northern Fjords, Morty.
Northern Fjords is set in quite a large, obviously, fjord, hence the name, with a large ice barrier and arch set over to the northeast of the map, allowing for some cover with low canyons underneath, allowing you to hide in some relatively low cloud cover for the smaller, more fragile ships. But if you're with something big and stompy like all these guys have, it's very, very handy for long-range shooting as well. Often, the blue spawn is slightly higher than the red spawn, the northern spawn versus the southern spawn, so you'll tend to see a lot of fire heading down from the northern side of the map. Sorry, not northern side. I've been having the wrong way around in my head. East-west, so west side to east.
This is a death match. Once again, first of 5 kills wins. Should BFS win this one, our third map will be on Periton Rumble for the afternoon, for the third rubber match. For third rubber game of this matchup. There we go. Dancing Feather, our first ship here, piloted by Frogger. It is Gap Mortar on his brawl side on the right side, and the left side, long range, Artemis, Double Artemis, and the Hades. The second ship, the Admiral Quackbar, piloted by Sammy. We have the Carronade Banshee, lost my words there for a second, as well as the Double Artemis Hades. Go ahead and tell us about the blue ships there, Morty.
The blue ships have decided to head to the far southeastern corner of the map to try and take cover in this large rock-shaped cathedral, I always call it, because of the lovely large arches, to try and get some cover between that lethal Artemis fire. The Ducks have, as always, charged straight forward and seen exactly what their enemies are doing. Try to move in as quickly as possible to make sure they have very little and very few lines of escape. The Goldfish now is reversing underneath the archers, trying to keep range with its lumberjack. However, out goes the flash. They may be able to see something now, but
there's really accurate lumberjack firepower coming from the Chelsea Smile. Speaking of the third ship in the lineup, the Chelsea Smile, it's a lumberfish, mine launcher, and flare support. Taking some fire there, though. The Monkiver, the Junker, piloted by Gilder Unfettered. He's got a couple mine launchers on there, a Banshee, and a pair of Artemis. That is your ship loadouts. A lot of fire being laid on the Monkiver. I'm hoping to see some more accurate fire coming from the Chelsea Smile, but it looks like they've lost their lumberjack. Oh no, the lumberjack is still operational. Actually, I'm sorry. Trying to lay some fire down on the dancing feather, but very inaccurate so far.
The dancing feather is behind two separate layers of cloud cover, so it's going to make it very difficult to spot, as you need two separate windows to get through. The monk guy was trying a very good strategy of trying to lure them around the pillar into his little minefield, but it didn't quite work because he was just a little bit too high, so he couldn't get under the arch for cover. So he's decided now to run and see if he can get cover further else, descending into the lower parts.
Monkgiver really needs to get in cover right now. He's lost too many components, including his balloon and outer hull, both of which are losing health very quickly. His balloon does indeed go down. It looks like he's banging on the geometry there between this little corner of the map and the pillar.
Yes, he has run aground there, but it is actually quite a good place to hide. You can't go very much further out from this point, apart from to go around the pillars and head west.
If anything is going to outrange the Dancing Feather and Admiral Quackbar, it would be a lumberjack, and it looks like that's exactly what Chelsea Smile is trying to do. Looking exactly at what Helmsman von... I don't know how to pronounce that name. Von Zinkington?
Von Zinkington. Just pronounce it, you'll be fine. Yes, they're trying to lay down some cover fire again towards their ally, but the Admiral Quackbar is trying to move around behind them, using the cloud cover to best to its advantage.
Monkgiver is also raising up now, using the pillar for additional cover, sniping out at the Admiral Quackbar, but a lot of fire starting to head the Monkgiver's direction. We need to see some component breaks from the BFS group before they can have a hope of aggressive actions.
They're getting some very good and very solid kills. Again, they've taken out the Admiral Quackbar's balloon there.
Ooh, yeah.
But in this situation, it could work against them because he's not dropping into cover to reduce those arcs from those Artemises. Oh, yes, he's actually turned forward, so he might actually not be able to hit them from there.
Admiral Quackbar descending very quickly still. Chelsea Smile putting a lot of pressure on the Admiral Quackbar's balloon. They do, in fact, tap ground. They're in a little crevice here. If Chelsea Smile can keep their balloon down, they could get a physics kill off of this.
They could get a physics kill. I think the temptation there is not to change targets to the Dancing Feather because it is assaulting the Monkgiver at the moment and try and press home their advantage. Once you've got a balloon disabled, it's a very good idea to keep that thing disabled because the ship will drop quicker than it will climb.
Admiral Quackbar loses their balloon again there, descending into a crevice here. Chelsea Smile still has plenty of arc, but I believe... Oh no, their gun is still... Their lumberjack is still active.
Yes, the Dancing Feather is now changed his focus to try and take down the Chelsea Smile. Obviously, the Admiral Quackbar seems to have reported that it is in a little bit of trouble there.
It's not every day that Sammy says, well, I really can't get myself out of this situation. He's a very competent pilot. He knows exactly what needs to be done in almost any situation, but he's continuously tapping ground now. Monkgiver has lost their outer hull and most of their guns. It looks like Dancing Feather's trying to keep them disabled while also putting pressure on the Chelsea Smile.
Yes, it appears the foregun of the Dancing Feather is trying to get some Artemis hits on the Chelsea Smile's lumberjack, where the side weapons are again engaged in the Monkgiver.
The continuous balloon pops are making aiming that Hades very difficult. Only a couple of those shots having been landed. Oh my goodness, Admiral Quackbar is rising very quickly. They have put kerosene in the engines for at least just a few moments there, and they are now in a good defensive position where they are no longer in arc of the Chelsea Smile.
That's very, very, very well done indeed. Chelsea Smile now is changing targets to the Dancing Feather since they can no longer see the Admiral Quackbar.
I think they should have done this earlier. They had a very good disable on the Admiral Quackbar, where even if it had gotten its balloon back together, it would have been disabled for at least 20 seconds or so. The Monkgiver was putting a lot of pressure on the Dancing Feather earlier, and now we see all that pressure from the Mandarins team focused right on the Chelsea Smile. The Goldfish is a solid ship for its size, but it cannot take this kind of damage. Monkgiver in an equally bad position where those mines just aren't doing anything. They're just a slight extension of the big rock kind of pillar here, and Dancing Feather and Admiral Quackbar are simply going around them.
It's unfortunate. Mines are often best used in brawling situations. It's going to be very difficult to use them effectively against Artemis-wielding ships, especially on a map like this. They may be very useful, say, if they go to this third game Parrot and Rumble, then those very tight corridors can prove those mines to be a massive advantage. Oh!
Monkiver gets taken out. Too much fire, both from the Hades and from those Artemis. 4 Artemis firing simultaneously is a lot of damage.
It's a heck of a lot of damage. The Admiral Quackbar and the Dancing Feather have done a very good job to rally together.
Checking to see what the Chelsea Smiles plan is. The Chelsea Smile is drawing them backwards, away from where the Monkivers just spawned.
Yes, the Monkiver has... Some would argue that it's not a very wise idea because the Dancing Feather has spotted them, but with a slightly less aware crew, it is a very good idea. Come up behind and catch them while they're on the pursuit. So see whether or not they can close the range and make some distance, make some damage here. Make up the distance, I was trying to say.
I agree completely. The Ducks are not the normal team, though, especially the Mandarins. They are some of the best that this game has to offer, and you have to have a very strange cold day in hell when they are surprised by something.
Yes, indeed.
Both Mandarin ships are putting out tar barrels, or Admiral Quackbar was for at least a moment there. MacGyver is trying to chase as best he can. All 3 Junkers, at least for a majority of the time there, had kerosene in the engines. They were burning their engines as fast as they could. Chelsea Smile is in a very bad position right now against the Admiral Quackbar.
The Admiral Quackbar has just lost a good portion of their balloon by hitting that rock face. That's a very slight error in maneuvering there, trying to avoid the mines.
They're banging against this wall here. They're actually grinding against this rock wall. Sammy appears to be reversing the engines as fast as he could to get away from it, but great balloon popping from the Chelsea Smile. This was their plan, I think. Go for those big, huge Junker balloons that are such an easy target.
It's very good because the Artemises on those ships can't aim very high up, and if they're pressed against the wall, as they are now, as you can see with the Admiral Quackbar, it's very difficult for them to turn around to bring that Hades to bear.
Especially if you're being jostled all over the place, if you're being forced, okay, now we're going up, now we're going down, now we're going up, now we're going down. Oh dear, you cannot aim that Hades. It is just impossible.
If you take a look at the Monkiver and the Dancing Feather, I think they're both just climbing to the upper edge of the map just to try to get advantage over people. Oh, in comes the brawling side.
That is a meta side. Oh, great mine burst, knocking the Dancing Feather down just a little bit. But Monkiver losing a lot of hull points very quickly. It wasn't enough.
One clip with the mortar. That mortar is very, very deadly at such close ranges, and it's very hard to miss. That's just unfortunate. Very good mines. Very well played just to stop them coming around the top of that peak. But in the end, just got the hull down at the wrong time.
Chelsea Smile is getting out of here as fast as possible. Reversing, trying to use that lumberjack to take out whatever it can as the Admiral Quackbar and Dancing Feather chase it. The Chelsea Smile, a very durable ship. Goldfish is a very durable ship, but good. Ooh, great mine hit.
Very well. The Chelsea Smile's reversing in a lazy arc to keep that mine launcher as close to bear as possible. It also makes it harder for those Artemises to hit because you're not running in a straight line. So they're doing very well, actually, staying alive this long.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah, that's a very good way to fly a lumberfish.
Really quick here. Those mine hits. Is this a map where you can effectively use those mines? I mean, it's so open. It's so... You don't have those pivot points and those choke points like you do, as you mentioned, on Parrot and Rumble. Is this a good map to take those mine launchers in?
It depends on the ship you're taking it on, realistically. I wouldn't have said on these ships it was the best idea in the world, although it has, as we can see, proven very useful. If you have ships with carronades, for example, where you can push people down into those narrow canyons at the bottom of the map, then they're very useful indeed. You can hit them on left side, top side, or right side to smash them against objects. But in this high altitude, long range game, it is quite difficult to use them effectively.
Montgyver is being forced downwards further and further by overwhelming firepower, trying to return it on the Admiral Quackbar. Admiral Quackbar actually losing their balloon. I believe that was to the Lumberjack, though. Montgyver taking immense amounts of firepower from the Dancing Feather Admiral Quackbar. Hades shots coming into the nose cone of the Montgyver all over the balloon. Artemis shots being a little more accurate, though. Those Hades shots missing due to the turning of the Montgyver, I believe. Too much, though.
That's unfortunate. He did buy some good time for the Chelsea Smile to get into position, but unfortunately, it's not the best position in the world due to having that hefty great archway in the way. You can't hit any targets that descend below it, as we saw with the Admiral Quackbar when they lost their balloon. They didn't bring it up very quickly. They just let themselves lazily drift down into cover.
Still shocked, though. The Chelsea Smile, they've been sitting around, well, not sitting around, but they've had that same permahull since close to the beginning of the game. And they've just been surviving and flying around and doing their best to live through this. It looks like, though, they are giving the Ducks a free kill on this one. They lazily reversed towards the Ducks' ships. I do believe they are going to come back with the Montgyver rather, with full hull, full health, ready to kill. They need to do it, too, because it's 4-0 now in favor of the Mandarins.
It is. I think there is some wisdom to giving that kill away. At least both ships can then return at full strength with the best hull, but it does run the very significant risk of you're only one kill away from victory. So you often see a lot of very focused firepower against the presumably weaker target.
I've heard a couple captains and a couple clan leaders actually say that being in a 4-0 scenario is a lot better than being in a 3-0 scenario, because a 3-0 scenario forces you to play extremely conservatively. 4-0 scenario is much more of a, I hate to say this, but YOLO-esque situation where you have nothing to lose, you put everything on the table, and you go for it.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
I feel like a terrible person now, but it fits.
So
for better or worse, it fits.
It does fit. You got a lot more risky plays, a lot of charges, and a lot of very fast brawls. It's often when you see a lot of long-range ships bring in their Gatling and mortars just to try and get those strips and quick kills. But it's very rare for the Ducks to fall to that.
Yeah, Chelsea Smile spinning around this rock formation here, following the Montgyver's lead at the moment.
It's actually a very good idea if the Ducks can fall into that trap. They've got a very narrow avenue of escape. They cannot go south because of the border of the map, and they have some trouble with fire coming from the right-hand side, but they've wised up and they're going down below, and they're going to come from underneath the arch, underneath the Montgyver.
Now, the big question is right now, is BFS going to realize this before it's too late?
Let's hope they do. Let's hope they do. The Montgyver is sat with his long-range weapons to bear. Hopefully
Chelsea Smile has turned his ship in the direction of the Admiral Quackbar and Dancing Feather. Montgyver has been spotted. I'm not sure if... Yeah, BFS definitely knows where they are at this point. Spots have been going down on all ships.
Drop shoot, down he goes, just trying to get out of the range of that arc of fire. The Artemises are very slow. Can't aim very low and can't aim very high. They're a good level range weapon, hence you see a lot of Artemis fights at the top of the map.
Banshee fire going out all over the Admiral Quackbar. Chelsea Smile, we need to see more of that Lumberjack right now before the Montgyver takes any more damage. They've lost their balloon. They're going to flow into one of their own mines.
Oh, that's never a good idea.
No. Good piling by the pilot of the Montgyver, who is that is Gilder. He has aimed himself away from the minefield he set down, those 4 mines. And
that's a very good hit, but it might be just a little too late.
Unfortunately.
Yes. You did a very good dodge there, running into reverse and turning hard, but it did take a lot of his weapons off target.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to muster too much of an offensive against those very well-balanced Mandarin ships.